Good morning, everybody. I want to talk about a topic that is probably one of the most popular topics right now in business. And it's do you feel like you're slowing down? Do you feel like you're stalling? Do you feel like there's a bunch of tire kickers out there? So I want to talk about this. I was in a mastermind group yesterday, and this was the topic of the mastermind group. And it was, hey, like, it seems like my leads are slowing down. We're having issues with marketing. No one's purchasing. And it's a really popular topic right now. There were a handful of us. We were all home service business owners. And I want to cover something, and it's going to be around the election. But I'm going to warn you right now is that I'm not going to get political. I want to talk about how um, election years and leading up to the election can really affect our business, especially in home service. And why is that? And what can we do to reposition ourselves during this time? And something that we have to think about is that it's been 8 years. Somebody pointed this out to me. It's been 8 years since we remember what the effects of an election year has on a small business. So, I thought that was a great point that they brought it out. It's been 8 years. So, what is that feeling? What is it going to impact? And how do we correct it? How do we prepare? How do we position ourselves um, to really dive into it? So, again, I'm going to talk about election year, the election, but I'm not going to get political. I have way too many non-competes, contracts, you name it, signed where I can't talk about politics, and nor do I think we should talk about politics right now because I want to talk about how our businesses are being affected and what can we do and how can we prepare. So let's dive into some things that election year can really affect with our business. So it really impacts consumer spending and uncertainty. What does that mean? It means that if you're getting leads, but they're just kind of shopping around, that this is why this could be why they're shopping around. They have uncertainty around what their they have uncertainty around their buying habits, right? Their purchases. And if, especially with a very controversial um, election, right? And also, if the election drags out or something happens or it's delayed, um, it will highly impact the home service industry as far as buying and purchasing goes. So maybe not everybody's feeling this, but a majority of us are. And it's really affecting consumer confidence. Buyers don't have confidence right now because of the uncertainty. And there's a statistic out there that it affects buyers' confidence by a third. So a third of people out there purchasing are uncertain. They're a little scared of spending money. So it really affects buyers' confidence. That stat came from Capital One and American Express, right? Buyers' confidence is being impacted right now. The delay in investing when it comes to small business owners. So small business owners may be pulling back now because the leads are slowing. We're not closing as many. So maybe we're putting things on pause. We're delaying like growth plans, hiring strategies, expansion strategies, and we've kind of put them on hold due to the uncertainty, whether it's the election with regulations or tax policies, or it's because of the slowed amount of leads or the drop in the close rate. So small business owners have kind of put some things on pause until they kind of see what happens. The next one is it can impact certain industries. And this is why I wanted to choose this as my topic for the live is the certain industries it impacts are home service. And so I see a few of my home service peeps on here watching. Yesterday, when I was one of the hosts on a mastermind group, and we had a large amount of home service owners, and that was the trend across every segment. We broke into 3 cohorts. It was based on revenue, but that was everybody's problem, or struggle, not problem, but struggle. And what industries does it impact? Impacts certain industries. So, you know, we're seeing a little bit in software, but I own a software company. I own a home service company. I do coaching. So I get a lot of feedback from different industries, individual, from people, and then also in groups. And it impacts home service, like cleaning, lawn care, pest control. Why are we particularly vulnerable? Well, because we're discretionary services, right? We're extra services. And so you may feel that kind of tire kicking, or the lead flow slow down in home service. It could reduce because we have more shopping around going on. People are shopping around without purchasing. So it's something to look at, and to know that this is happening, observe it, and ask your leads like, "Hey, are you ready to purchase, or are you just shopping around?" And if you're ready to purchase, or when will you be ready to purchase? The other part that it can really impact right now, or why we see things happening, is the media. Negative media coverage can really affect people's behaviors, spending behaviors. So the negative media coverage can affect spending behaviors. I mean, think about yourself. Is it affecting your spending behavior? Is it affecting our customer, right? Are the lines blurred, between, their spending habits, what they're forecasting the future to look like? It's very uncertain, and so that's going to make people pull back. um and then, many small businesses, so revenue and growth slows during an election year. But this is the one thing, I did a ton of research looking this up. This is the one thing I want everybody to remember, is that it slows tremendously 1 to 2 months leading to election day. And we're in that. We're in that right now. It slows 1 to 2 months leading into election day. So we're in the slowest point right now, unless there is a stall in the results, or unless there's controversy around the results. We are in the slowest time right now. So revenue and growth slows down. Statistically, business owners say that 78% of small business owners say that every election year, they consider it a poor economy. 78% of business owners, due to the uncertainty and the future that's to come. So 78% of small businesses say that election years are poor economy years. I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs, and my uncle was a successful entrepreneur. His name was D.R. Miller. And he had many, many businesses. But as a kid growing up, man, I used to see him just like take $100 bills out and like give it to employees. And when somebody did something great, and as much money as he had, and as many businesses as he had, he wore the same old hat, the same clothes, drove the same beat up little Cadillac car. But he always said, and this is the thing that stuck with me when I was a kid, is that election years are the worst years. We need to make sure we prepare ourselves. So because we're so far in it right now as a small business owner, this is a great thing to document in 4 years. How do I prepare? We already started to prepare and make certain adjustments and reposition ourselves. But how can you prepare? So let's cover on some things on how can you prepare. And I think this is really, really, really important, because every single person that I talked to over the last couple months has said one of the things that I'm going to cover with how can you prepare, right? And it's emphasize value over price. I'm going to say it again, emphasize value over price. In times of uncertainty, right, our customers prioritize value over price. And this could be why your close rate is lower right now. People want value. Doesn't mean we have to be cheap, right? Price is an issue in the absence of value. So when you're selling, when you're doing your marketing, position value over price. And then also during this time, it's great to um, create some long-term benefits around, customer rewards programs, customer retention programs, and also create some marketing strategies around nurturing current customers. This will help us keep our customer acquisition cost lower. Like I said, loyalty programs, rewards programs are great right now. The other thing you might want to look at as well is what's going to happen when it's over, right? When election day is over, am I ready? Am I positioned for the other side? Because we've positioned to cut cost and reduce spend and stop spending. But how long can we predict this to last? The slow in the market, the slow in the decision making, the uncertainty, the buyer confidence issues. So, how long can we predict this to last? So, historically, the economy bounces back fairly fast. They're saying within quarter one, within within a quarter of the election. So that would be within 90 days of the election. So are you forecasting that? Are you positioning yourself to take advantage of the post-election opportunities in your business? Because the recovery is going to happen within a quarter. Within a quarter. And that's pretty fast. So the businesses that really can forecast, position themselves for the upcoming election, right? Look at things, because if the economy slows, we have to be ready for that. We have to position ourselves. But then how fast can I reap the benefits of when the floodgates open back up? When people are ready to buy lawn care and pest control and house cleaning and power washing and window washing. So if we're not positioning ourselves post-election, we will be leaving money on the table. We will definitely be leaving money on the table. So super important to look at. Again, everyone across the board that I was on the meeting with yesterday had really said, I'm feeling the slow. Maybe I'm getting the same amount of leads, but they're not closing. And remember, I talked value. Use value over price. When you're talking about your service, emphasize value over price, because consumers prioritize value over price during times like this. So it's super important, but it's even more important to also plan, right? It's the end of the quarter almost. Plan for your post-election recovery plan. What are we going to do? How much are we going to need to hire? How fast is it going to come back? How many leads do we currently get at what close rate? Be tracking it so that when we are in recovery mode, we can see the uptick and prepare for it. So hopefully this was helpful, insightful. You're not alone. I was on that call yesterday. I was on a podcast with software owners. I was in a mastermind group with home service owners, and across the industries, we're all feeling that same thing. I think it's just been 8 years since we felt the normal effect or the real effect of an election year in business for a business owner, because the last election was during COVID. And, that was like not normal. So it's been 8 years. So many business owners haven't been in business 8 years. So they may not remember it, or maybe we were just starting. And so it's been 8 years, and they say that the market will slow, the lead flow will slow 2 to 3 months leading up to the election. It is September. and the election is November something. I should look at the date. It's the first Tuesday. I think it's the first Tuesday. And we are in that 2 to 3 month lead up of the slowdown. And so David Long said, I'm seeing this a slow on both. Just tuned in. Yeah. So we've kind of felt it, but as we're getting statistically, because I went and did all this research for this talk, statistically, they say that you really see the slow, you really feel it 2 to 3 months leading to the election, to the results. So we're really feeling it now. And it's only a short time though. So as a business owner, how much money do we have saved? How much repositioning do we do? How much expenses do we start to look at or cut? Because you can't just cut it all, because in 2 months it could change. And then you got to play catch up, and you're going to be leaving money on the table if you're not prepared. So this is the part of business, to me, that is fun. Like, I operate with budgets and data and expense reports and marketing reports. And we have to, those business owners that really enjoy forecasting, that really watch their numbers every single morning, I have a section of my calendar to review my numbers. Those business owners that are reviewing their numbers are going to see it slow. I've already seen it. I've already cut $113,000 of inefficient expenses out of one company just 2 months ago, because I was preparing. We cannot have inefficiencies. And this is a whole nother talk with inefficiencies in vendors and employees and even customers, inefficient customers who are like taking too long to do a job. And then my cost per hour is horrible when it's supposed to be like $60 an hour and this customer's 30. And there's such thing as inefficient customers as well. But positioning yourself in those owners, those business owners that look at those numbers every day, will see the trend start to tick up and make the proper actions to prepare so they don't leave money on the table. So, how much will the floodgates open? I don't know. So in my software group, we were talking about, we think it's going to be fast and hard, because we think that people are tired of being tired. Like, they're just scared. And they're tired of being tired. COVID made them tired for 3 years of that. Then this, right? 4 years. So 3, 4, then they're tired of being tired, and they think it's going to open up pretty fast. And that was the topic. Are we ready? Are you ready? How much sales can you handle? How fast can you hire and train? Do you know how long it takes to position yourself to be ready? Because if not, your competitor will be. Your competitor will get those leads, close them if they're ready. So I think this is a great topic. It's something that we need to talk about. Donna said she's feeling it. Yeah, but Donna, at the same time, it's short-lived. It will come back. So you can what are we going to do in the meantime? Are we going to do like guerrilla style marketing in the meantime to up the leads? What are we going to do? I just had a phone call and I did a video about it with American Express today. Libby jacked up her American Express card because I was trying to set the auto pay, and I accidentally set the auto pay to pay like $10,000 every time the account hit $5,000. So I overpaid, and then it bounced back from American Express because anyways, it was user error 100%. But I called American Express to fix that, and I got the best customer experience I had ever encountered on the phone. And I'm like, wow, it was worth the inconvenience. I was like, this was pretty good. I learned a lot, and that's value. Like, that is value. So what can we do to position ourselves? Add more value, better phone calls, more personalized relationships with the leads, with the customers, guerrilla style marketing? Or is it the other side? Is it, I'm going to cut everything? But if you cut it, you may need it in 2 months, and then you'd have to sign all up for it again, or create it again, or pay a setup fee again. So as a business owner, this is the hard part about being a business owner. Like, there's the hard part of firing and leading and accountability. That's a hard part, because that's the people part. This over here, and I posted it yesterday, this over here is the forecasting, the data. We cannot use our intuition solely, right? My Facebook post yesterday was, use data as actually what did it say? Now I don't even remember it. But I'm looking for it so I can find it. It was use data as your roadmap and intuition as your compass. So if we're just using our intuition right now, it could get us in a major, major bind. Yes, intuition is great, but use the data. That's going to help us prepare. That's going to help us see the trend, the downturn, the upturn. So use the data as your roadmap and your intuition, right? If you've been in business long enough, you know that intuition. You can feel the market. You know, you have experience and history and wisdom. Use that intuition as the compass. So I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. I think this is a great topic. If you want to talk more, put it in the chat. I'll be in the chat answering questions and responding. But I think it's an amazing topic to think about and look at. And how can we're in it now. We're so far in it. It's hard to make any like rebranding adjustments, changing of services. I wouldn't even suggest that because we're so far in it. But what we can do is create more value through better customer service and plan on what is my post-election recovery plan? What is my post-election recovery framework for reaping the benefits of when people are ready to purchase? Are they going to choose me? Are they going to go with or is my competitor faster and better than me? That's what we need to work on.